Okay, so this is the Full of Wonder project recipe, and let's talk about it a little bit before we begin, because there's a few things I want to point out. So first of all, the project recipes, I just want to make sure everybody's clear that we can use any collection that you would like. It doesn't have to be the Full of Wonder, but my goal with these workshops is to come on here and do whatever the most current project recipe is, but don't feel like you have to have this paper to complete this project recipe. So another great thing about project recipes are that they usually use minimal papers. So there's usually 2 for a background and then 2 others that they're going to cut into. So that's what I really love about it, and you can create a really cute page just following these simple steps. Okay, so let's look here at the project recipe so I can point out a few things. So here you'll see on the inspiration piece that they did, this green piece right here is this piece. So they're using these 2 green pieces as their background. And I'm pointing that out because you'll see how much is showing here. So there's not a lot showing here. And at first I thought, well, maybe we can trim it down and try and fit it in there to work, to see how, maybe save some paper and cut that down. But then when I started doing some measurements, I realized that we need about an 10 by 8 piece. So even if you didn't want to use those both for your background and you wanted to cut into it, you would still need 2 pieces of the paper to accomplish the same look. So that's the first thing. And then, so then I thought, the second thing was I thought that let's take the cardstock here, and if we wanted to, we can build right on top of the cardstock instead of the pattern paper, but you would need 2 pieces of cardstock as well. So there are some options to create this a little bit differently, but I think the way we save paper is to follow the way that they suggested. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for tonight, and then I guess you can see if you would like to do the same thing or trim it down. But I would love to see anybody who does this, see if you do it any differently. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going here. And so these 2 pieces will be my background piece. I'll put those aside for a moment and we'll do some cutting first, and then we'll assemble our background pieces. The project recipe has 2 pieces. It'll have the inspiration and what it's supposed to look like here, and then a sketch here, and then the cutting guide on the second page. So the first thing that they want us to do is to take this would be what I would call my icon piece. And we're going to take our icon piece and punch out. You'll see here it says punch, then cut at 7.5 inches. Okay, so when I looked at my icon piece, I really had to decide, since mine is not an icon all over the page, I have certain colors in certain areas. So I really want this part to be on the actual page. Let me show you here. See how these are going to be the strips off to the side. So I need to decide where I'm going to punch. So I'm going to punch right off to the side over here and save this colorful piece to be the strips on my layout. Okay, so let me grab the punch. And I am going to follow it exactly how they have it, and they use the new garland banner punch. And I'm going to cut out 2 rows. And there we go. So that's 2. We'll put some aside just in case we want more. And then what's left here, we're going to trim it into 2 4.5 inch pieces. So I'm guessing this should be about 9 inches, and it looks like it is. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, then the next one we want to bring in is our eggplant piece. or your cardstock, whichever color you're going to be using. And our first cut is going to be 1/4 of an inch. So right to the edge of the gray mat on your cutting guide here. These are just really small pieces. And we're going to need 2 of those, 1 for each side. And then our next piece is going to be a 4.5 inch piece again, a 4.5 inch cut, so 12 by 4.5. Then we're going to turn that and cut it at 6 inches. And these will be for some photo mats. Then we're going to take what's left here, which is a 7 inch piece, and we're going to turn it long ways, slide it in, and we're going to cut at 4 3/4. And this is the piece that we're going to come back in and cut a circle out of, so we'll put that aside. And then from this piece, we're going to trim 2 at 2 inches, and we need 2 of these. So when we're done, we should have 2 that are 2 inches by 7 1/4. Okay, and we need 1 more. And then this piece is scrap. Okay, let me bring in my mats and we will assemble our page. So far, pretty easy. Okay, bring back in our base pages and our pieces, and we're just going to start assembling. There are written directions down here, or you can just look at it and probably figure out where it goes. So this piece I'm going to put up here. I'm going to turn mine so it looks like that. And then the other piece will come on the other side, like that. And then we have our 2 2-inch pieces, and that's going to come right up here, the top of each page. And then our 1/4 inch piece should come right into here and butt up or overlap right on top of our 2-inch piece. So it's working out pretty nicely. And let's see if this one will. This one looks pretty wide over here. Let's align that up. There we go. Perfect. And then we have 2 photo mats, one right here and one right there. And now our banners. So these, they wanted us to trim down to 7.5 inches. Which should be right in between these 2 pieces right here. Let me go ahead and just do that with my scissors. I want it to be even. And then this we can save for a future layout. And 1, 2, 3 right here. We'll cut this right here. And it'll go right up on top. And this should fit perfectly within our 2-inch piece right there, and it does, so that's perfect on both sides. Nice. And then the last thing we have to do is to cut down our circle that they have right there. So we're going to bring in that piece of eggplant and my cutting guide, my board, and we want to bring in the smallest circle in our custom cutting system, and we'll cut the outside of the smallest circle with the blue blade. Just make sure I have enough room, and I do. Okay. There we go. And that'll go right up there. Like that. That's very cute. Very cute. Very simple. I'm going to go ahead and get mine all adhered down. And then I will bring in some embellishments. Nice. Okay. Now, I do have some photos for these. I think I'll bring them in now so that I can now work around it, because I will need to probably trim these down. Didn't think about that before I adhered them down. But let's see what I have here. Let's see. This is a little winery, kind of restaurant-y place that we have by our house. And let's see, I'll put that one over here. And let's see, this one. This one will go right here. Now these photos I printed from home a while ago, and they're not quite 4x6. So I'm gonna trim those down. And now I need one for down over here. And I think I'll put this one right here. And this one is a 4x4. So I think I will, let's see. This will be the one I cut into a circle to put up there. So let's go ahead and do that first. And this is the smallest circle with the red blade on the outside. And my photo looks like it's just gonna be big enough. Let's see, let me come down a little bit more. And I'll put it right up there. That's cute. And then I just need one more photo right down here. And I guess I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna trim it into a 4x4. And it'll go right off to the side right here. I think I'm gonna maybe swap it out for this fountain after all. I think I like the fountain better than this one, but I might use that for something else. I'll go ahead and get this one adhered down, and it'll go right there. Now, to bring in my titling and some journaling, I'm gonna go pretty much what they did. They put a title here and then some butterflies. Those are embellishments, and some embellishments over here as well. So they have a title here and a title there. I kind of like that. So let's go ahead and just mimic what they did. So I have soar high right here. And I like to have this, if it's going to be floating up here, I am going to make sure it's touching there ever so slightly, so that it looks like it's all cohesive. And then over here, I'm gonna put this one, and I'm gonna bring in some other embellishments to help that out. Now, I didn't make any ahead of time, but a cluster base would be perfect right there. And then for my journaling spot, I need to select I'm gonna bring in an actual card right here instead of just writing right on the paper like they did. So I'm just gonna go through here really quickly and see if I find one that I like. And I do prefer that it's going to be like horizontally across like that. So some of these won't matter as much. So purple is a good option right now. I do like the blue. I'd put it like that so it looks like this little piece of washi tape is going in toward my layout. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this dark blue one to bring in some of the blue that I have over here. Okay, so let me go ahead and cut that down. And I'm going to put it right here. So this could act as a journaling, as a cluster base as well. We could just tap it like that. And let's go ahead and bring in our embellishments. There's not too many, so that's good. Up here, they used 2 of the butterflies, and they just kind of had them overlapping. Again, I'm making sure that it's touching that title. And one more coming off to the side. and I probably would tuck that under. They did as well. So it'll look like that. Super cute. And then on this side, I would bring in this heart like that. And the other butterfly, I believe, comes off of the sticker sheet. And so I'm going to go ahead and take this one right here. And you know what? I think I'm going to pop that up onto some foam. And that'll go right up here. There we go. That was super quick and super easy. I loved it. I love it. It came out really nice. I'm glad I did that. And these colors are perfect for a winery. Oh wait, before I go back to the gallery, we want to bring in these tabs that we saved. So when you punch out the banner, it leaves these little tabs. And what they did was they brought them in right down here and tucked one right here. And I love that because it's like a white area down here, so it kind of pops it out a little bit. And you can use that to do a little bit more journaling, like they have in the example, they have the date written right there. And then the other one could come right over here, and you could write something else over here too if you want to. And so that's what they did with the tabs, just to kind of bring in that little bit of the banner punch. Now it's finished, and there we go. I got 2 pages done pretty quickly. I hope that you could that you did too. I'm going to come on back to the gallery and we can talk more about it.